And welcome to my lecture series on supply chain management. So we are going to continue today on the supplier selection criteria. So previously we have discussed lean supply chains, agile supply chains, and how do they differ from one another. But regardless of the philosophy that you are trying to or you are adopting in your company, uh, of course, you will actually have to deal with your suppliers in a certain way, and you will have to know how to evaluate them using certain criteria. Now, these criteria will be different from one industry to another. For example, the construction sector will have their own set of criteria. The automotive sector will have their own set of criteria, and maybe the electronics manufacturing will have their own set of criteria. So, nevertheless, here are some of the supplier selection criteria that you may want to consider in your organization. So number one is quality. So when we talk about quality, so what do you mean by quality? Granted that you have a lot of various definitions lying around about quality, but when it comes to your supplier, maybe you will actually assess them on the grade of the materials that they're using, that they actually are proposing to you, the fitness for use of those particular materials or product. And in terms of the conformance to specifications, yeah, this is actually very important. In terms of cost, are they actually will they be able to deliver or will they be able to deliver the materials or product in a cost-effective manner? And in terms of the price wise, whether is it reasonable or not? So these are the some of the questions that you will actually continue to ask your suppliers, and maybe you will negotiate with them on offering, lower prices and things like that. And in terms of delivery, so when you practice lean supply chains, you will want them to be able to deliver at the right time, right place, and the right amount. And this may be difficult for certain suppliers, but with suppliers that are practicing the JIT philosophy, just-in-time philosophy, that may not be so difficult for them. And when you are also practicing the lean supply chain philosophy, you will actually want to develop a long-term relationship potential. So this is what I call it, the subjective criteria that you actually you should keep in mind when trying to evaluate your suppliers. And lastly, but not least, you will want suppliers who are financially stable, because suppliers who are not financially stable may not be able to develop a long-term relationship potential with you. So that is actually could be a cause of concern, if you want to develop a long-term relationship with that supplier. So thank you, and that is all I have for today.